to use DNS policy, right? So there is a catch here. Okay, so you have a VPC here. Okay, so you have a VPC which is in Mumbai. You have a DNS policy. You have a subnet 1, subnet 2. Okay, so this DNS server in the policy you are mentioning the DNS, right? 10.1. Whatever the DNS server. So this DNS may be in the same one of the subnet. Okay, S3 subnet. Okay, so to use DNS policy, right? Either, for example, I want to, I want to use the DNS policy to do the name resolution or, taking the domain join, whatever. So the DNS server, which you are defining in the DNS policy, either should be in the same VPC, okay, or maybe if you have on-prem, if you have it in on-prem, you are using an on-prem DNS server. Okay, and you're using up DNS policy, and in the DNS policy you mentioned you need to use the on-prem DNS server. So in that case, you should have a site-to-site VPN connectivity. Okay, site-to-site VPN connectivity. Then only DNS policy will work. For example, you have a separate VPC. Okay, so here you have your VM. Here in another VM, in another VPC, you have your DNS server. Then you cannot use DNS policy. That doesn't work because, for example, you have a peering here, right? You have a peering. This is in Netherlands. This is in Mumbai. The Netherlands VM, you wanted to use the DNS, which is hosted in Mumbai. Okay, and you connected through peering. So in this scenario, DNS policy doesn't work. Though even though you attach DNS policy to this VPC, still it it won't resolve. That is not possible. For that, you need to do something called DNS peering. Okay.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, that is why that is why I did not create a DNS policy in the new project. You got my point.
Understand.
Even though if I create, it won't work. So you should create something called DNS peering. So let's talk about DNS peering. Okay. So now I am in the where is the Netherlands.
So if you
Nether
have centralized DNS server, you cannot use that one. You have to go with the DNS pairing always with the different VPC. That's why you want
yeah
to say.
yeah. If you have a centralized DNS server, then you cannot use DNS policy. You can use DNS peering. Okay, where in Azure you can use custom domain. You don't need to do anything called DNS peering. In Azure it is very straightforward. You just need to have the reachability to the DNS. That's it. But
So
here need
if I create in GCP with VPC A, B, C like that one, so all the three have to do the DNS pairing to
yes, DNS peering,
resolution.
exactly. Yes, you should
Oh,
require DNS peering as well as you should require network peering. Network peering for the communication, DNS peering is for the name resolution. You got my
okay.
point, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Understand.
Yeah, that's the point, whole point of DNS peering. Okay, so let's do one thing. Now I have the what do you say? Let's do one thing. Let's go to the DNS. I'm going to do a cross now. Now I'm going to do this configuration. Clear canvas. Now see, now I have a VPC in Mumbai where I have my domain DNS server. Now I have Netherlands VPC. I'm going to create a peering. Okay, it is in a different project. It is in a different project. Then I'm going to use DNS peering to do name resolution from here to any VM using this DNS. You got the concept, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to my VDA project. I'm going to the VPC. VPC peering. Okay. Let's do, okay, let's this. So here we have 10.125.0.0. So here we have 10.196. So it should not overlap. Earlier, why it is overlapped, I'll tell you why it is overlapped. Let me finish this first. See, earlier, even though we tried to do the same peering, still it is failed. Why? Because these two had peering. Okay, so again it is overlapping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the reason. Because like the paired network should not have identical subnets. That is why it was failing. So now, as far as I know, it should not create any issue. It should do the peering successfully. Let's see. So let's see. It is successfully creating, well and good. Okay. Yeah, guys, see, that is the reason it was overlapping. Now it is successfully created. So now
Right.
we'll see. Yeah, now we are going to log into the this project. This is, where is my DC? Let's see my DC. Okay, everything got disconnected. I don't know why. Okay, now go to my network. Okay, so I'm going to log into this VM. This is in a different VNet in a different project. Okay, so let's do the RDP. I'll put the password here.
That is your domain controller?
No, this is my VM in the another VNet.
Okay. Oh, that one you want to design that time, no?
Yes. This is in a different VNet in a
Mm.
different project. So I wanted to join this to the domain.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, yeah. So now if I do the pinging, so it won't ping to my domain controller now because my domain like I did not allow it in the firewall. Okay, so let's do the pinging first. Ping. Okay, ping 192.168.1.2. 196.1. Okay, so it is not pinging because I did not allow it in the firewall. So let me allow that all the traffic from the another VNet in the firewall. So network, I'll select this one. Incoming. Source is my 10.125.0.0/24. Okay, I'm allowing all the traffic. Okay, here also in this firewall. I'm allowing all the traffic from the other, another VNet, okay, which is my 10.196.0.0/24. So now this should be able to access. Yeah, it's pinging, but if you see now, ping vdabus.com, this may go to public. Okay, ignore this. This is that is going to the public one. So let me put my FQDN of my DC. Okay, it is not pinging. Okay, so it is not pinging and it is not doing the DNS resolution. So now we have the VNet peering. So we need to do something called DNS peering and DNS forward zone. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so on your VNet, right? So from where you wanted to do the resolution, go to the DNS server. Okay, create zone. You need to select private zone. Okay, zone name, give any name, and DNS name, put the domain name bus.com. Okay, here you need to select DNS peering. So it will ask to which network you want to do the DNS pairing. So I need to do the DNS pairing with this network because from here I wanted to do the resolution. Okay, now the peer network, where is the peer one? So I need to select the other project. So it is in my different project. Okay, so the project name is the peer network is this one. So this is basically I'm selecting the DNS server VPC. You guys, you're following me here?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, great. So I wanted to select the project on which my
And
domain
this
controller are
one
sitting.
the DNS pairing networks you already created previously, correct? The BDIC VPC pairing stuff. So that's why it's populating here. That
Uh,
peer net.
no, here, earlier when we do the network DNS, right? That time we are
Mhm.
manually trying to copy the details. You remember project
Yeah, okay.
details and VPC,
Yeah.
but in DNS peering, right? It will automatically it will pop up.
Okay.
Okay, so you just need to select, let's say if your DNS server is sitting somewhere in other project, you need to select that project. And
Mhm.
when you select that project, you will see all the VPCs in that project. So you have to select the project on which your domain controller is sitting. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, now click create. So it will create the DNS peering, but we need to do something in our, base project where our DNS server is there. So this is my DNS server engine. So this is my DNS server. Okay, so now we created a DNS peering. One part is completed. Now we need to do something called forwarded zone here. Okay, so that any request coming for VDA bus, you should forward to this particular IP address, which is 10.196.1.2. So I'll copy this and I'll go to DNS again. I'll create a zone here again. Okay, test one. I'll give any you need to click private DNS name vdabus.com. Forward queries to another server. So here select the network on which your domain controller there. Then here destination DNS server. So you wanted to forward all the queries to this DNS server. Okay, so any query, DNS query coming to this network, right? Through the DNS peering, it will forward to my DNS server. So I'll click create. So now let's see. This is only required when you want to use DNS server in a different VPCs. If you are deploying your workload as well as your DNS server in the same VPC, then this configuration is not required. Just DNS policy is enough. Okay. So now let's go here and let's ping. It may take some time. Let's wait. Okay. Let's reboot this also. Let me do the ping first. Dot 192.186.1. Let me verify my Okay, I think everything seems to be fine here, but let's do the reboot and we'll check. Okay. So that to the VM and see whether after the reboot it worked or not. Okay. Yeah, perfect. See, it is pinging now after the reboot. Okay, maybe it took some time. So now see, now if I go to the properties and this is, yeah, guys, remember this is in a different VPC in a different project. Okay,
Correct.
that is why I'm using DNS peering. If it is in the same VPC and the same project, then I don't need VPC peering, DNS peering. I can just use DNS policy. Please keep this in mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So now technically, if I put vdabus.com here, yeah, perfect. See, now I'm like from another VPC, I'm able to join to the domain which is in a different VPC, maybe in a different region also. So it will support. Okay. So for example, you have a head office in Mumbai and you have a branch office in US, Europe, or other part of the country. So in that scenario, what you have to do, you need to do DNS peering plus that zone which we created. Okay. But if you don't, if everything is in, in the Mumbai itself in a single VPC, then just go with the DNS policy. Okay. And see, the difference between policy, DNS policy and peering is the policy works if it is having a direct connection either within the VPC or through VPN. Okay, it doesn't work with the peering. That is the only difference. To use policy, you need to have a VPN connection with your DNS server or a direct connection. Maybe that is within the VPC. But if you connecting through peering, right, then you should use DNS peering. Guys, any doubt here? We spent a lot of time in this, but we need to finish it earlier. So if you have any doubt, quickly pass it to me.
So
Let me.
one question, Muhammad, like if we want to show the same steps in our POC environment for our organization, and if I keeping all the things in the one like the BPC and one project, no need to do anything policy. That time policy is also required to point the DNS stuff, or it would work by default.
See, I'll tell you something. Normally, let me draw the normal production environment, how it works. Okay. So in production environment, what you'll have, you'll have a GCP cloud here. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is the GCP cloud. You'll have your on-prem.
Yeah.
You'll have a site-to-site VPN and you'll have a domain controller here, DC. You'll have a DNS server.
Yep.
Okay. So customer is saying, I don't want to deploy any DNS server here
Mhm.
because I want to use only the on-prem DNS server. Okay.
Correct.
Though it
Yeah.
is not a good practice, but some financial organization, they don't want to deploy a DNS server or DC in the cloud itself. In that
Mm.
case, what you can do is you have a direct VPN connectivity, right, between your site and here. Just create a VPN policy and mention this DNS server here.
Okay.
Okay,
Got
you're
it.
clear? You're
Yeah.
clear? Okay, now coming to the second scenario. Okay, where let's say you have another GCP, which this is in Mumbai, this is in Netherlands. This is you connected through VPN peering. Okay, that time you need to use DNS peering.
Mhm.
You got my point?
VPN pairing or BPC pairing, you are saying?
You should use both VPN peering for the connectivity, DNS peering for the name resolution. You cannot use DNS policy in this scenario.
No, you are saying VPN or BPC pairing? Which one
Sorry,
you
sorry,
were?
VPC man. So
Yeah,
many
that's
VPC.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys, clear, right? This concept when to use DNS policy and when to use DNS peering.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.